As we look ahead, Craig, do you see this being a really dark winter for brokers and motor carriers, or is it going to get better?
Well, I think to respond to what Ken said about volume, it is true that if you're in the contract market, you're seeing a pretty abysmal market, which we have more spot or more contract exposure to what DUT does as a spot platform. So when we think about what motor carriers are seeing, is there has been a collapse in freight. This is, if you take our data, if you take Cass's data, if you listen to the earnings reports of all the public truckload carriers, is you'll hear how really bad the conditions are for motor carriers in the market. What has happened is that freight brokers have chased the rates down over the last couple of years, and they picked up an enormous amount of market share. Many of those freight brokers were buying capacity from these non-domiciled CDL, these drivers, these fleets were willing to essentially hire drivers because it was, whether it was completely endorsed by the former administration, it was certainly not regulated. And so a lot of motor carriers, in an effort to survive, ended up hiring drivers for this sort of bottomless pit of capacity, because so what happened is that the freight brokers were able to chase rates down and pick up an enormous amount of market share. And that really dried up a lot of the demand for the asset-based carriers. So the asset-based carriers, I think this turn are going to pick up a lot of that market share, because shippers now are wondering. I mean, Sean Duffy just a couple of weeks ago came out and said that he intends to hold shippers accountable for whom they load. And if a shipper loads a driver that does not speak English, does not actually demonstrate compliance, then the shipper is potentially held liable. Now, here's important, is many small shippers will be unaware or unconcerned about that problem. Let's just be frank.
Yeah.
But you get to the global 2000 shippers, the ones that actually care about their reputation and also care about the consequences, which are undefined at this point, then I think we'll see shippers starting to mandate compliance. I think these AI tools will have in a brokered environment is, take like 10 years ago, a freight broker could easily screen the driver to determine whether he could speak English. Today, with these AI tools, it's going to be impossible, because I can have a conversation with somebody who speaks, is Slavic, and they have zero understanding of English, and it will sound as if because of the AI tools, the voiceover will be completely in English, and that's going to create a problem. So I think the larger shippers are going to mandate that the people that they do business with are the asset-based carriers. So I think what will happen is the larger asset-based carriers are actually in a really good position as we go forward